Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Movie Critic Rob here with the Movie Channel, and today we're going to be talking about the latest Pixar film, Finding Dory. Now, before we start with the review, I wanted to tell y'all a funny story because last night, this actually was going to be a review. The review I'm doing right now is actually going to be a review for Central Intelligence because last night when I went to go see Finding Dory, I was actually going to go see Central Intelligence. However, the theater that I go to a lot, theater that I frequent, I have like 3 theaters near me, but the one that I like the most because they give me points and I get really good rewards, the theater that they were showing Central Intelligence in had a broken AC unit. And so the guy that was ripping the stubs he told us, me and my friends that went with me, he said, well, you know, it's going to be kind of hot in there, so you may not want to go in there. And so, you know, we talked and we're like, I actually wanted to go see Finding Dory anyway. And they're like, yeah, let's go see Finding Dory. It's awesome. And so we arrive here at the review for Finding Dory, which I can honestly say is fantastic. Because honestly, I mean, I don't know how y'all feel, but for me, the last few years, with the exception of Inside Out and The Good Dinosaur, I felt The Good Dinosaur, although formulaic, had a good heart. Before this past year, when Inside Out came out and all that, Pixar was kind of getting into Disney animation territory. It's just not bad. But Pixar, and I think you can all agree with me, is a step above and has always been a step above anything being done at Disney Animation. They have just, I mean, crafted amazing, at this point, award-winning, and I mean a ton of award-winning movies. And on that list, as one of the highest achievements of Pixar, is the predecessor to Finding Dory, Finding Nemo. I was a kid when this movie came out, and if you want to know how old I am, me and Alexander Gould, who played Nemo in the original movie, Finding Nemo, are the exact same age. So, which I heard that in a article I read, and I was like, oh my god, I am old. So anyway, this movie is the sequel to one of Pixar's most beloved films, Finding Nemo, and because of that, there's a lot of expectation. For me, it was one of those, because everything except for the last 2 movies that Pixar has offered were kind of eh, and they don't have a good track record with sequels outside of the Toy Story saga or the Toy Story franchise or whatever you want to call it. I was kind of, because of all those reasons, a little bit timid. I was like, oh boy. Because again, Finding Nemo is one of the greatest, and that's saying something, of the Pixar brand. For me, Finding Nemo was the super hype film. I actually got to Clownfish after the movie, and I was deep into fish making. I had to do a tour of my little office here. It's not a studio, but it's an office, and actually I have a couple of aquariums. I've been doing aquariums for 10 years, and partly because of Finding Nemo. And so this movie, Finding Dory, has a lot of hype around it because, for me, it's going after one of the best Pixar movies of all time, which they're all good. So, you know, it's kind of hard to put them in categories because they're all fantastic. Anyway, so I get into the theater, Finding Dory, and I love this film. After seeing this movie, I can honestly say I love this film. If you haven't seen the movie, I will say this, but before we go on, and this is a non-spoiler review, by the way, so don't worry, we're not going to spoil a thing. And if you saw the title, you know I keep to my word when I say no spoilers. But I will tell you that you need to stay till the end credits are over, because there is a great scene involving some characters from the first movie that you need to watch. So, with that said, Finding Dory, it was absolutely excellent. The movie had some of the best jokes I've seen in a Pixar film lately. It was, I mean, relentless in their jokes. I was laughing extremely hard, and I should not have been. I think because for me, like I said, the first one in the franchise was made when I was a little kid, and so now I'm an adult, but I still, I enjoy this because it's the same thing, and anyway, I was laughing hard and loud. I was so obnoxious, but it was absolutely excellent. Every joke that they made landed, and I mean landed in the best way. This is Pixar back to form that we've known and loved it for the past, I don't know how many years, ever since the beginning with the first Toy Story. This is Pixar at its finest, and this is Pixar at its best. And I'm going to just say this. If this is the representation of what's to come in the next few years, which include Incredibles 2, which I cannot be more hyped about, I am so excited to see what Pixar has in store for us. Okay, so the movie plays a lot like Batman Begins. You're probably thinking, Batman Begins? Yes, and here's what I mean. There's a lot of cuts between present and past, which work absolutely fantastically because they're trying to establish Dory's characters. So they're going to go back and tell her story. I'm not going to tell you anything beyond that, but they do go back, and you see from the very beginning, they're going to go back and tell her story. And the whole movie centers around, like you probably guessed, Dory, and a very specific thing that happens to Dory. She, if you've seen Finding Nemo, she doesn't know who her family is, but she remembers, if you've seen the trailers. And the whole movie centers around trying to find the parents. Other than that, a lot of things happen, like the whale shark that we see in the trailers. She meets her, and the beluga, which they're absolutely hysterical. I love Pixar does something very particular, which a lot of movies that have come out have lost. But they give a character, and they make sure that the characters are different enough, but they give characters a definitive trait, and then they play that trait in different ways. So they craft a lot of jokes around it. But it's something very specific. The beluga has it. The whale shark has it. Destiny is her name. And I can't remember the beluga's name. Anyway, there's also Idris Elba, I think, is in this film. At least it sounded a lot like Idris Elba. If it's not Idris Elba, dang, this guy's doing an excellent Idris Elba impression. There are 3 seals in this movie that are just ridiculously hilarious. In the first movie, there was seagulls, and we do see seagulls, and they're still mine, in Finding Dory. But I don't know. I mean, my opinion. When I saw it the second time, and I remember seeing it a second time, Finding Nemo, I've seen it a ton of times, but it got a little bit annoying. The mine. Well, they brought it back in a different way, not with seagulls, and it was absolutely hysterical. And the seagulls with the mine, were really not that bad. Some people might see it as annoying, some people might not, but the seals in this movie were absolutely hysterical. There's one, and this is all I'm going to say, there's one named Gerald, and it's just hilarious. If you've seen the trailers, no doubt you know about a character named Hank, who is besides Dory, Marlin, and Nemo, the star of this film. And if Pixar can come up with something as good as Finding Dory or better, I would love to see a Finding Hank film or finding something of Hank. They call him he's an octopus, but they call him a septopus. You'll see when you watch the movie why. I mean, it was tremendous. This is Pixar back as we know it. And like I made a movie discussion about character-driven films versus plot-driven films. Yes, there was plot driving the film, but it was so loose and so basic that really what drives the film is the characters and the strength of the characters and what's happening to the characters. The movie was excellent. The kid that they got for Nemo, because Alexander Gould, like I said, is as old as me. He's 22 years old. and so they had to recast Nemo. I couldn't tell a difference. If somebody hadn't told me that it wasn't Alexander Gold, I could not have told the difference. Marlin is excellent again. Dory, perfect. And there, I mean, from the beginning of this movie, it's just relentless. Punch to the heart, punch to the heart, punch to the heart, punch to the heart. The emotion does not let up. That's not to say that it's all it's not all teary-eyed emotion. There's a lot of fun, but there is exuberance in emotions throughout the entire film and the entire runtime. This is one of the best films I've seen from Pixar in the past. I want to say 3 years. It's probably no, you know what? It's probably the best. I would put it one notch above Inside Out, just because since I know the characters, and since a lot of people know the characters, they take full advantage of the fact that you know the ones that you know. So they spend a lot of time on the new characters, which are absolutely tremendous. The movie is good. The pacing is good. I never felt bored at all with this film. The emotion is absolutely there, and I mean, just tremendously there. The comedy lands in every way. Everything about this movie is good. One thing I want to say about the Nemo franchise, because it is a franchise at this point, is the subtlety because you know Nemo's about pollution in the ocean and all this stuff, and if you believe it, there is other stuff in the movie. I'm not going to mention it here. It's up to you to find out if I didn't really see it, but you know, whatever. But one of the things that the movies, both movies, really hammer is the message of pollution. But they do it in this movie in such a fantastic way where they never really say it. Just like in the first movie, they never really say it. But they show it to you. And you know that when you know what it is, it's incredibly subtle. And I like that because you don't want to go into a movie and find yourself like you're watching a propaganda film, which a lot of movies today seem to be. And I feel that, and if you've watched my my review of War Room, you know that what I feel about Christian movies and how I feel that, and I'm a Christian, I feel that if they want to really reach a broader audience, they need to not water down what they believe, but find creative ways to show it and not say it, because you'd be able to reach a ton more people that way. Finding Dory does that in their message of pollution. I think it does it absolutely excellently. As a believer, I feel that it's a duty of ours to protect the planet, but we have to protect human beings as well. And so I'm against things like abortion, and I feel that that should be fought for first. But Finding Dory does that excellently in what it's trying to get across, where it never beats you over the head with it, and it never takes away. It never takes a pause and tells like, look at this, look at this, look at this. It does it in an ingenious way, which I think kudos to them for not, you know, going, this is Finding Dory. We have to beat you over the head with messages of pollution in the ocean. Here you go. They don't do that. I love it. Thank you, Andrew Stanton, for a fantastic film. At the end of the day, Finding Dory is excellent. I really want to go see it again. It was just one of the, oh my gosh, I can't describe how good this movie was. So, because I can't describe it and because this is a non-spoiler review, I'm going to let you be the judge of it. So go out there and see it. This has been Movie Critic Rob with the Movie Channel. Please like, share, and subscribe to everything. Go watch my videos, subscribe to my channel. And with all that said, I'm signing off.